Hello, welcome to the channel Why Stories. Enjoy watching.
You're spending like a queen. From now on, we're splitting our finances. But a month later, after overhearing his wife talking to a notary, he turned pale. Sitting on the narrow couch in the beauty salon's back room, Sophia was sobbing uncontrollably. "What's up with you? Hormones going wild or what?" Carmen asked skeptically as she followed her in. "There's a lady waiting for you, by the way. It's not cool to just drop everything and lock yourself in here." "Carmen," Sophia sniffled, looking at her colleague with despair. "Please, take her for me." "Who, the lady?" Carmen's eyes widened. "Are you crazy? She's your client. Besides, you've already started with her. At least tell me what's going on." "Later, everything later," Sophia replied, wiping her nose. "Carmen, you can see I'm not in the right state. I'll just mess it up, and then we'll both be reading bad reviews. I can't afford to risk my job right now. It's not easy to get into a decent place these days." "All right, fine. I'll figure something out. I'll tell that madam you weren't feeling well. She seems reasonable enough." Yes, Sophia nodded quickly. "Her name is Adriana. She's been coming to me for a while. It's just..." "Okay, don't go on. What does she need done?" "Cleaning, massage, masks. It's all in my tablet. I already did the peel. You just need to rinse it off now." "Got it, I'm on it," Carmen nodded. "But later, you will tell me everything. And if you need to, grab the little bottle of calming pills from my bag. Nothing heavy, all herbal, but might help you right now." As soon as her friend left, Sophia got up and walked over to the sink. The cold water helped clear her head a little. In Carmen's bag, she found a small white bottle of pills, popped one into her mouth, and washed it down with water. Tears still streamed down her face. She couldn't stop them. This had never happened before. She had always been cheerful and looked at life with optimism. Friends and coworkers would often come to her for a dose of calm conversation. Sophia's soft and warm energy drew people in. Some joked she should have been a psychologist instead of an esthetician. To which she would always joke back that her job was a fusion of beauty and psychology, and her calling was to help people feel beautiful both outside and within. Her coworkers adored her. Not only was she a top-tier specialist, but she also had a knack for handling the cosmetic machines, always knew exactly which product would suit each client, and her heartfelt conversations were the cherry on top of every procedure. That day, Sophia had already worked with 6 clients. Adriana was the last one. As usual, she made herself comfortable on the treatment table and started spilling gossip and news. Her husband was some big-shot figure. Their relationship was more like a business arrangement, but he spared no expense. That setup suited Adriana just fine, especially since it didn't interfere with her occasional affairs, which were the real reason she came in for these expensive treatments. "Can you imagine," Adriana said, almost without moving her lips so as not to disturb the work of the cosmetologist, "my husband found out about Raul." "No way," Sophia replied, feigning surprise, since her client's husband wasn't really the type to care about his wife's fidelity. Besides, he was known around town as a notorious womanizer. "That can't be true. Did he cause a scene?" "Of course not." Adriana burst out laughing, almost choking on her own words. "I was the one who caused the scene. I accused him of losing interest in me, so I had to seek comfort elsewhere. I listed all his mistresses, but I purposely didn't mention the last one, even though I know exactly who she is. That was on purpose, so he'd think I'm a complete fool. I made him look guilty. And he, to cover up for that silly little woman, well, you know the one I mean, quickly ended the argument, like, let's not dig into this further." "Oh, the naive idiot. I always find out about his women before he even looks at them." "How is that?" Sophia asked, surprised. "I mean, metaphorically speaking," Adriana clarified. "What I mean is that he can't hide anything from me. I know him inside out. We've been married for 25 years, Sophia. A quarter of a century. Of course, there's no love left. But we're still family. And you know what he did yesterday after all of this? No, Sophia shook her head. He bought me a new car. This morning, he just silently placed the keys on the nightstand. When I woke up, he pointed his finger at me. He said, "So this doesn't happen again." Yeah, dream on. I've already dumped Raul, but I've got my eye on Enrique now. Oh, Sophia, you should see this man. A real athlete, a handsome guy, speaks perfect Italian, used to be an opera singer. Everyone should have a man like that. If it weren't for my husband, I'd have grabbed him in a heartbeat. But I'm still not sure. Maybe my husband will come to his senses. After all, if he weren't cheating on me, I wouldn't be looking elsewhere. I guess it's more of a kind of thrill, a sporting interest. Oh, Enrique, he's a dream. I can introduce you to him. It's a shame, though, to give him up. But I'm not his type. But you. Tell me, what keeps you with your husband? You're such a beautiful woman, yet you're married to some loser. Manuel is not like that. You're wrong, Sophia replied, a little offended. And he earns quite well. Not millions, of course, but it's enough for us to live on. Besides, I'm not as free-spirited as you. I love my husband. Oh, you love him, and he loves you. You were just complaining not long ago that he's become distant and cold, and now he's being stingy. There's a difference between earning well and earning really well. A gorgeous woman like you should live for herself, not be polishing other people's faces. But I enjoy my job, Sophia replied calmly. I didn't just choose this profession out of nowhere. And money? Happiness doesn't come from money. That's true, but I don't see any sparkle in your eyes. You can always tell when a woman is happy, I know that for sure. And a happy woman, when is she happy? When she's loved. Your husband doesn't love you, and don't even try to argue with me. Sophia felt a lump form in her throat, and tears started to well up in her eyes. Adriana's words had struck a nerve, even though they were completely unfounded. But something inside Sophia told her that, despite the lack of evidence, there was some truth to those accusations. Lately, the relationship with Manuel had indeed become quite different from what it used to be. Sophia recalled yesterday's words from Manuel, which, whether he had meant them as a joke or had intentionally tried to hurt her, stung deeply. During the winter, Sophia always gained a little weight, and by summer, the extra pounds would usually melt away. But this time, she had quit smoking, which led her to indulge in sweets more than usual. The added fullness suited Sophia, but Manuel, who was used to her being slimmer, didn't appreciate it and rather crudely hinted that it was time for her to lose some weight. Adriana, sorry, I need to step out for a couple of minutes. Sophia excused herself and walked into the back room. Sophia thought that washing her face and taking a few deep breaths would help calm her down, but the tears wouldn't stop. It felt like an emotional dam had burst. All kinds of bad thoughts and memories emerged, hurtful comments from her husband, his unwillingness to talk openly with her. She remembered that Manuel hadn't given her anything in a long time, not even on her birthday, when he just gave her a standard bouquet of flowers. Not that it had ever bothered her much, but in light of Adriana's stories, she suddenly felt inadequate, truly unloved. Any initiative in the family had always come from her side. Manuel didn't like to show affection, he only demanded domestic service. He had always been rational and pragmatic. From the very beginning of their relationship, Sophia had realized that he was not one for romance. But she, the young girl in love, just starting out in her adult life, didn't mind it. She admired his serious approach to life, his sober views, his reasonable attitude towards money. She was the same way. But over the years, Sophia began to realize that something was missing. She had tried many times to bring up the subject of having a child, but Manuel advised her not to rush. A year ago, he had gotten a good promotion, which significantly increased their income. Sophia also earned well, as she was quite popular among her clients. It seemed like the right time to think about expanding the family. Manuel wasn't exactly against it. However, after their last discussion on the topic, he nearly stopped touching her altogether. Often, he would stay late at the computer and then just fall asleep on the couch in the living room, telling Sophia in the morning that he hadn't wanted to disturb her. And then yesterday, he told her that she didn't physically attract him anymore. The weight gain was, apparently, a turn-off. If she lost weight, things would get better. Sophia believed him. But now, Adriana's words had struck something deep inside her. Something that made all that trust start to crack. Tears flowed down uncontrollably, and they didn't stop. It was at this moment that Carmen entered. "So, what's going on?" Carmen asked, returning about half an hour later. "I took care of Adriana, though not completely. I told her you suddenly felt ill. She asked me to finish the peeling and the mask, and then she'll come to you. I guess she doesn't trust me. I rescheduled her for the day after tomorrow. You have tomorrow off, right?" "Yes," Sophia nodded, pressing her palms to her face. "Thank you. I took one of your pills from your bag. I think I'm starting to feel a little better. What's going on with you? Should we call an ambulance? Are you really that unwell?" "Carmen, it's not that I'm physically unwell, it's that I'm struggling emotionally. I don't even know what triggered this reaction." Adriana started talking about her men again, and then she mentioned mine. When you think about it, she's right. Manuel doesn't take me seriously at all. "Well, that's a surprise," Carmen exclaimed, throwing her hands up. "Why do you think that? You guys have a peaceful and smooth relationship. Don't start making up stories. You've been married for 8 years. He doesn't cheat, doesn't drink, doesn't hit you, brings money home. You just bought a new apartment. You go on vacation together, even if it's rare. What more do you need? Don't listen to those people, they'll tell you all kinds of nonsense. Adriana's the one with issues. She and her husband have mutual affairs, they have plenty of money, but you're over here worrying. After all these years in cosmetology, you should have developed a thick skin and not let these superficial girls with their life rules get to you." "What did she say to you?" "Oh, nothing much," Sophia sniffled. "She just hinted that I married the wrong guy. She said that a gorgeous woman like me deserves someone better. A man should provide for you, carry you in his arms, not be some failure like Manuel, who pushes his wife to work and uses her as a household slave on the side." "Oh my God." Carmen rolled her eyes. "What are you talking about? You've got a normal family, stop making up nonsense. These pampered women get carried around as long as it's manageable, but then they get dropped when the burden gets too heavy. That's what she's trying to avoid. If her husband leaves her, where is she going to go? She's never worked a day in her life. Is she going to beg on the streets? No, you, Sophia, are a good person, a hard-working woman, and a great wife. The fact that your husband is humble and practical and doesn't throw expensive gifts or take you to pricey restaurants doesn't make him a failure. And crying over this, really? Let's have some coffee and let's get ready to go home. No one else is coming today. I'm sure of Manuel, and I never thought of him as a failure," Sophia sighed. "It just hurt. Lately, he's felt so distant. We don't even sleep together anymore. I feel like the reason isn't just my extra weight." "Oh, come on, what are you thinking now?" Carmen laughed. "Extra weight? You used to look like a broomstick, and now you're in your prime. Any normal guy would love that body. Manuel is just tired. You said he's been on that new job for a year, with more responsibilities. Or do you think he's cheating? God forbid." Sophia recoiled. "No, he's not. He's home every night, doesn't stay late at work. We spend weekends together. I haven't noticed any signs. His phone is always in sight. Normally, when someone has an affair, they act differently." "How would you know how they usually act?" Carmen mimicked. "But you're right. When my ex-husband started cheating, he put on all kinds of shows, but if Manuel is clean on that front, then what are you worried about?" I'm worried about a baby. Sophia bit her lip. A baby? Yes. We kept putting it off for better times, but now those times are here, you could say. I really want to become a mother. I feel ready. But Manuel? On the one hand, he's not against it. We've discussed it many times, but every time I bring it up, he becomes distant. I can't force him. I fall asleep before he does. He often doesn't even come to bed. He shuts down any hints or attempts I make, changes the subject, or blames it on not feeling well. It's like I'm in some dumb comedy or melodrama. Maybe he really doesn't love me anymore? Maybe it's all over. But has it passed for you? Carmen narrowed her eyes. No, of course not. Yes, the passion is gone, but I still feel like he's important to me, and everything. Have you ever thought that maybe you're just shifting all the responsibility onto him? What do you mean? Well, you're complaining that he's becoming distant. But how are you acting? Maybe he's expecting some romantic gestures from you? Men are strange creatures. It seems like all that romance doesn't matter to them, but believe me, just pet him the right way, and he'll bloom. Women have this idea that everyone should do things for them, but they themselves just wait around and do nothing. But I keep the house cozy. I always make him something tasty. What does that have to do with anything? Carmen waved her hand. Oh my God, that's exactly how men start cheating, over all that domestic stuff. You're to blame for not noticing in time that he also needs attention. So, what do you want? Romantic walks, hot confessions, gifts? What exactly? I don't know, Sophia protested. I don't need anything. Seriously? Admit it, you want a little bit of everything. Well, probably, Sophia answered doubtfully. Relationships are a mutual game. If you want something from your husband, give him the same. A loving person will appreciate your efforts and care and will want to make you happy in return. And then it's not far to the baby. Think about it. Why would you want a child if there's no understanding between you and your husband? Manuel might feel that and is subconsciously turning away. Sophia, he's a good guy, at least on the outside. So just surprise him. He doesn't like that kind of thing, Sophia frowned. How do you know? He said so himself. You've never tried. Maybe your Manuel is waiting for you to take the initiative. He needs a little push. After all, when one person in the relationship wants romance and the other doesn't get it, the most sensible thing is to take matters into your own hands. And what should I do? Sophia gave in. Well, I don't know. For example, pick a holiday where you can congratulate your husband and give him a gift. Give it to him wholeheartedly, without sparing money or imagination. What holiday? It's summer. Well, a professional holiday, maybe, Carmen suggested. That's too far off. Then make up your own reason. You could just congratulate your loved one for being who he is. Let the surprise be, Sophia. Buy him something he's wanted for a long time but has been too reluctant to buy for himself. Cook him a special dinner. Don't spare the money, especially since you just got your paycheck yesterday. Maybe you're right. Tomorrow, I have the day off, so when I come home in the evening, I'll have everything ready, Sophia smiled. I hope this will move our stuck icebreaker. Oh, it will, Carmen winked and went to make coffee. With a flick of her lighter, Sophia nervously lit the wicks of the candles. Everything was ready for her husband's arrival. At that very moment, she heard the sound of a key turning in the lock. Sophia quickly exited the living room to meet Manuel. Darling, I have a surprise for you. Sophia smiled mysteriously, hugging her husband. Sophia, where are you going with this? Manuel muttered grumpily, pulling away from his wife. I'm tired, and you won't even let me take off my shoes. Now you'll get some rest, Sophia said, ignoring his harsh tone. Go wash your hands, I'm waiting for you in the living room. Manuel looked at his wife questioningly, but she had already disappeared into the room. A minute later, he entered behind her and froze at the sight. What's all this? he asked, surprised, staring at the laid-out table. It's a special occasion. I guess you could say that. Sophia nestled closer to Manuel. I just wanted to surprise you for no reason. It's nice, right? Sit down, or everything will get cold. Manuel obediently sat down at the table and looked at his plate with interest. It looks delicious, but what's with this strange dinner? These are scallops, Manuel, his wife squinted with pleasure. I decided to splurge a little and treat us both. Go ahead, don't be shy. Manuel carefully speared a piece of the white seafood and dipped it into the sauce beside the plate. Mm. He nodded approvingly. Very tasty. But this is terribly expensive, Sophia. Why such an unusual choice of food? You could have just made potatoes with meat, it would have been much better. Manuel, why do you always say that? I just wanted to make you happy, Sophia pouted. It's nice to try something special once in a while. Let me pour you some wine. Wine too? Manuel looked at his wife suspiciously. It seems like you've spent the whole budget on this fancy but completely incomprehensible dinner. Don't complain, Sophia lightly hit her husband on the shoulder. This isn't all. If this isn't all, then I'm already scared. What else is there? Manuel smirked. Sophia pulled a beautifully wrapped box from the drawer. This is for you. She kissed her husband on the top of his head and handed him the package. A gift? Manuel frowned. Sophia, did you do something wrong and now you're trying to make up for it? No, why would you think that? I just wanted to take care of you. Open it quickly. Manuel looked at his wife skeptically, taking a deep breath, and untied the ribbon. As he unwrapped the package, he paused, thinking. What's this? He asked bluntly. What do you mean, what? Sophia was taken aback. It's an intelligent speaker, obviously. You've wanted one for a while. I got the best one available right now. Manuel, it has everything. The sound is amazing, and it has a voice assistant. You can even connect it to the smart home system. It's everything you wanted. Yes, but Sophia, this costs quite a bit. Have you suddenly become rich to be making such expensive purchases? We're not exactly struggling, but we should have discussed this first. There's no occasion. I don't understand why you bought such a gift. Manuel, don't you like it? Sophia's lips trembled. Why wouldn't I like it? Her husband sighed. You're not listening to me, are you? This is expensive. We're buried in mortgage debt, and you're making spontaneous purchases. You should have put this money into the bank. And these scallops, no, you've definitely lost it. Return the speaker to the store tomorrow. If you want to give me a gift, just pay another mortgage installment. That would be more appropriate. Manuel, we're already paying everything on time. I just wanted to make you happy, take you out of the routine. Sometimes you need to treat yourself too. Otherwise, we'll blink and realize we're too old to enjoy anything. No way, I'm not returning it. This is your speaker now. If you don't want it, I'll take it to work. It'll definitely be useful in my office. There, you knew exactly how I would react, her husband laughed. I'm sure that's exactly what you were planning. You should have just told me you needed it for work, instead of making all this fuss. No, Manuel, she tried to argue. You're being foolish, he cut her off. You're not even thinking. Spending like a queen, and now we're not in a position for luxury. I work my butt off day and night, and you're blowing all the money on nonsense. But I spent my own money, Sophia stammered. Yours and mine. I thought in a family we say ours. Isn't that right? Manuel, You know what? He smirked. Since you're making a big deal of yours and mine, let's do it this way. From now on, we'll have separate finances. What do you mean? Sophia recoiled. Don't play dumb. Whatever you earn from your beauty business, that's what you get to spend. I won't give you another penny. For the apartment, food, and vacation, everything will be split down the middle. I'll contribute as much as you do. Wait, what? So we eat together, but each pays for their own share? Sophia frowned. Exactly. No, that's not going to work, she snorted. First of all, you earn more, so you can afford to spend more. Half of my salary goes just for the mortgage. Plus utilities, food. And I still have to cook and clean. What's the problem? Lots of couples do separate finances these days. You're the one who pushed me into suggesting it. It doesn't seem fair. You spend your salary on all kinds of junk, clothes, fancy little trinkets, makeup, and the rest of it falls on me. Why should that be? Manuel, but we've always lived like this. You've never restricted me. I don't spend everything on myself. When was the last time I bought something for myself? I wear clothes that are at least a couple of years old. I need a coat for the fall now. My old one is worn out. Well, then budget accordingly. You shouldn't have bought the speaker. You could have bought yourself a new coat instead. Fine, Sophia suddenly relented. From now on, everything will be split down the middle. But that means you'll be cooking for yourself, don't count on me, and we'll take turns cleaning. 1 week me, 1 week you. Oh, really? Manuel snorted. I was talking about the money, not the cleaning. Keep in mind, maintaining order in the house is the wife's duty, and I. What? Sophia smirked. You're the one earning money? Then I don't see the logic. It used to be like that, yes. But I was also earning money. We put everything into the same pot, and then we paid the mortgage, bought clothes, and spent on vacations. No, Manuel, since you brought it up, you'll deal with it. Separate finances means separate finances. Or did you think I was your free servant? I thought we were a family. But apparently, this is how it is. Great. I wanted the best for us. Can't you see that everything is falling apart? I just wanted to start fixing things somehow. I thought you just needed more attention from me. But apparently, you're just holding on to a few pennies. I didn't ask for anything in return. It was a gift from the heart. But now I have to ask you something. When was the last time you did something for me out of pure love? Are you out of your mind? Manuel was outraged. I'm always buying things for the house. Like that vacuum cleaner, for example. Manuel, are you serious? First of all, we both use the vacuum. It's like a joke to give that to your wife as a romantic gesture. Like, here, honey, work hard, because I don't want to walk on dirty floors. Pots, a steamer. Notice, we both use those things. They're not gifts, they're just household necessities. Even that damn sofa you gave me. And yet, you spend your evenings lounging on it. No, Manuel, that's enough. I thought we had mutual understanding, but apparently. Sophia didn't want to continue the conversation any longer. She jumped up from the table, ran to the bedroom in tears, locked the door, and didn't come out until morning. Everything felt like it was falling apart. Usually friendly with the staff and clients, Sophia became quiet and withdrawn. She mechanically went through the motions, nodding and smiling absently while listening to the next confession from a woman lying on the couch. At lunch, Carmen pulled her aside and looked her in the eye. Okay, I can tell yesterday's surprise didn't go well, Carmen observed, noticing the empty look in Sophia's eyes. Come on, tell me. What's there to tell? Sophia shrugged indifferently. I did everything perfectly, but Manuel wasn't happy. No way, Carmen scoffed. He didn't like the gift? If I'd just fried potatoes and given him socks, it would have been 1,000 times better. And I, fool that I am, spent money and used some imagination, and the result, we're completely at odds now. And now we've moved on to separate finances. What do you mean? Her colleague asked, eyes wide open. I mean exactly that. He accused me of excessive spending. That I don't live within my means. I should have just paid an extra installment on the mortgage. Anyway, I returned the speaker this morning, and from now on, I'm not cooking for both of us anymore. Cleaning will be on a schedule, everything's separate now. Wow, Carmen clicked her tongue. But that's not the end of the world. I think he just reacted strongly yesterday. Who knows what people say when they're emotional? Sophia, are you sure you understood him correctly? I understood him perfectly, Sophia snapped, getting upset. He was crystal clear. I shouldn't have listened to you. My head is good for something, after all. Don't take it the wrong way. Your advice was sound, it just backfired in my situation. I don't even know what to do now. How can we live under the same roof like this? Listen, Sophia, Carmen firmly squeezed her hand, don't get too worked up. Maybe this will be for the best. Essentially, you'll only lose half of your mortgage payment from your salary every month. But the rest will be yours to spend as you wish. You don't really spend much, I know. You're always cutting back on everything, except for Manuel. And think about it, won't you be fine on your own? I haven't thought about it yet, Sophia sighed. Now I'll need to update my wardrobe for the fall. How much will that cost? Oh, how much? As if Manuel would have let you spend freely on clothes before. From what I know, you've always held back because your husband wouldn't let you spend more than the agreed upon amount, and he kept criticizing everything you bought. Forget it now. At least now you'll have the chance to make decisions on your own. You'll also have the time that you used to spend running around after your husband. So, relax. This apathy isn't helping. Live like this for now. He'll soon realize what a mistake he made and come crawling back to apologize. Do you think so? Sophia asked skeptically, looking at her friend. Where else is he going to go? Carmen laughed. 6 months passed since that fateful conversation between Sophia and Manuel. To her surprise, Sophia noticed that her salary was now more than enough. She even had some extra money, which she happily spent on herself. New habits crept into her usual routine, like having a morning coffee at a cafe. She found time to exercise. Instead of spending a couple of hours in the kitchen preparing lunch or dinner for her husband, she was skiing in the nearby forest park. She could even afford to go to the theater or a concert now and then. Manuel didn't care much for such leisure activities, preferring to spend his free time playing the latest video games. And he was always too stingy to buy tickets. Though, as Sophia remembered, he was never stingy when it came to upgrading his computer, work setup, and other wants. Now she understood how much money was spent on all that. Her husband never accounted for such expenses. But simple logic was enough to estimate the amounts. And that's when Sophia felt truly hurt, so she decided she would start taking better care of herself. Besides sports and cultural outings, she took up a couple of hobbies. She started to paint little by little. At first, it was small anti-stress coloring books. Methodically filling in empty spaces with color helped her distract from heavy thoughts and ignore the contempt Manuel often showed, knowing that once again, his wife hadn't cooked dinner and they'd have to order delivery again. After the coloring books, Sophia moved on to notebooks and gel pens. She eagerly studied drawing lessons, spending every free minute sketching squiggles and shapes on paper. In April, when living in the same apartment with her husband, who had gone from a grumpy man to a wild and embittered creature, became unbearable, Sophia began attending an art studio. The canvases and paints unleashed some unknown force within Sophia. She poured everything she had inside her onto the white surface with enthusiasm. This wasn't painting in the traditional sense. The instructor simply allowed her students to do whatever they wanted. Often, they played music during the classes, and the task was to transfer what they heard onto the canvas using available tools and forms. Sophia let herself go completely. On her way home, she ignored everything. She and Manuel barely spoke anymore. At first, Sophia had hoped that her husband would make the first move toward reconciliation, but now she had stopped thinking about it altogether. At some point, she just didn't care anymore. Manuel, however, was clearly suffering from the situation. But his principal wouldn't allow him to have a normal conversation with his wife. When he came home from work, he'd immediately order food delivery, and sometimes he'd even go out to eat. At first, he liked it. He often teased Sophia, saying that the dishes he ordered were much tastier than the ones she used to cook. To this, his wife would simply shake her head and steer the conversation in another direction. Manuel refused to do any cleaning or other household chores. It was much easier for him to hire a cleaning service once a week. He even boasted about it to his wife. "You're here with the mop," Manuel laughed one time when it was Sophia's turn to clean. "If you earned better, you could hire cleaning too." "I'm not breaking," the woman snapped back. "Work is a noble thing. It's what turned monkeys into humans. And if you don't know what to do with your money, then by all means, hire a maid. I don't care. Don't count what's mine, and I won't count what's yours." Gradually, the couple began living in separate rooms. Sophia took the bedroom, and Manuel got the empty room, the one they had once planned to turn into a nursery, but never did. The living room, where they had once spent so much time together, became empty. They only crossed paths in the kitchen in the mornings, when Manuel, with an unfriendly look on his face, miserably poked at the buttons of the expensive coffee machine he'd bought, and Sophia brewed fragrant herbal tea in a French press. 9 months had passed since the argument. It was a warm May day. Manuel went on vacation alone, without even suggesting that Sophia join him. Of course, she wouldn't have agreed anyway, since no one had given her any time off. In the past, they had planned weekends and trips together, but now everything was different. Sophia wasn't even upset when she saw Manuel packing his suitcase, with an electronic ticket printed out on the nightstand. In fact, she was glad that she would spend at least 10 days alone in peace, without the constant disapproving gaze of her husband. Sophia had a day off, and she decided to spend it doing something she had come to love, painting. Although it wasn't her group's scheduled day, she still visited the studio. The delighted instructor immediately sat her down at an empty easel and told her that today's class was special. Just a minute later, an elegantly dressed man entered the studio. Sophia had never seen such posture. The brunette flashed a bright white smile and greeted everyone present. "I want to introduce you to Raul Francisco," the instructor said, almost raising his hands to the sky. "Raul is my old friend, and today he has kindly agreed to spend a couple of wonderful hours with us. I see some confusion on your faces. He won't just be observing our work, he will sing. Raul is a former opera singer. Unfortunately, he had to say goodbye to his singing career due to circumstances. But the soul still craves art, right?" Raul gave a dry nod and climbed onto a small stage. "Friends," the singer addressed the group. "My friend told me that you sometimes translate music into paintings here. I'd like to perform a few arias by Puccini for you today. I'm very curious to see how this beautiful music will be translated onto your canvases through your emotions. I promise that the best painting, which we will choose together by voting, will be presented at a contemporary art exhibition in my gallery. Perhaps for someone, this will be a ticket to a new life. So, let's begin." Sophia was greatly surprised by this statement. No, she hadn't expected anything like this. It was just that she had never before painted while listening to a real opera singer perform, even if he was retired. The music began to play, and then Raul's beautiful voice poured from his chest. Sophia listened in awe to the aria, unable to pick up her brush. The music was sorrowful and grand. At some point, Sophia didn't even notice how her hands moved in time with the notes, transforming the emotions that were swirling inside her into bold and vibrant brushstrokes. Raul sang one aria after another, and the artists occasionally interrupted their work with enthusiastic applause. "Well?" The instructor marveled again. "Magnificent, Raul. Truly above all praise. It's such a pity that people of art today are forced to go into business, sacrificing their talent. I sincerely regret that we have so little time. I hope you all manage to get enough inspiration from these wonderful moments, friends." The class ended. Raul purposefully did not examine the artist's works. "My dear friends," he smiled widely, still standing on the podium, "I will not judge anyone now so as not to confuse your thoughts. I will definitely look at all the works later to choose my favorites. Yes, exactly, nodded the instructor. This is important for fair results. Now we will prepare a mini exhibition so that all students of my studio can vote for the best painting over the next 2 weeks. Starting tomorrow, each of you will be able to view all the works in our demonstration hall and vote anonymously for the one you like the most. Of course, you can choose your own, but I ask you to please vote with your heart. Only what resonates with your soul deserves to go down in history. Oh, such grand words, thought Sophia, skeptically eyeing her painting. I know for sure I won't win, but I'll be happy if someone else here manages to achieve something meaningful in painting. Raoul sang very well. I don't even know what I felt. It was something beyond reality. If I were a professional, I probably would have come up with something decent, but now, just another mess. But my mood is excellent. I can say I went to a concert for free. Sophia, like the other students, gathered her brushes and paints, slung her bag over her shoulder, and said goodbye to the instructor, thanking Raoul for the wonderful performance. She was in a great mood as she made her way home. Everything around her seemed filled with the beautiful music of Puccini. Early the next morning, the phone rang. Today was Sophia's day off, and she cursed herself for forgetting to turn off the sound the night before. "Hello," she mumbled irritably into the receiver. "Sophia?" Carmen's voice sounded anxious. "Are you sleeping?" "Not anymore," Sophia yawned. "What's up?" "Don't tell me one of the girls is sick, and I need to come to work urgently." "Carmen, I have plans today." "No one's calling you in anywhere," Carmen replied, sounding offended. "I'm calling for another reason. Listen, is your Manuel by any chance in Phuket right now?" "Oh my God, you woke me up for this?" Sophia sighed. "Yes, he's there. He's coming back tomorrow, I think. You know I'm not that interested in his whereabouts anymore." "Well, here's the thing. One of our mutual acquaintances, Juana Dolores, just texted me. Do you remember her?" "Of course, I remember her." Sophia fully woke up, trying to figure out what her friend needed. "Anyway, she's also on vacation in Phuket right now. And she saw your Manuel." "So what? What's the big deal?" "No, you don't get it. He's there on vacation, let's just say, not alone. Juana asked me if you two had gotten a divorce." "What?" Sophia tensed. "What do you mean?" At first, Juana thought she was mistaken, but she was having dinner with her husband at the restaurant hotel. She saw that Manuel was sitting at the table next to them with some girl, holding her hand sweetly. She thought it wasn't him, but when they locked eyes, he quickly looked away, then jumped up and hurriedly took the girl away. That's when Juana started wondering who she was and why he didn't even say hi. "I don't get it," Sophia frowned. "Maybe he met someone there?" "No one forbids talking to people." "Sure, talking is fine, but Juana clearly said it looked more like romance." "Fine, I just thought I should warn you. Things with Manuel are already not great, and now he's on vacation, but not alone. By the way, Juana secretly took a photo of them. I'll send it to you now." "Carmen, enough with the gossip," Sophia snapped. "I honestly don't care what he's doing or with whom. I'm already thinking about divorce. Yes, it's high time. Sophia, you have an unhealthy relationship. How long have you been living like this?" "Almost a year." "Why keep going with this? Manuel clearly isn't interested in reconciliation. And honestly, it seems like you don't need him at all. Get a divorce. What's the point in torturing yourself? I never once regretted leaving my husband." "Carmen, I don't need your advice," Sophia snapped. "You've already given me plenty. Things would be different now if it weren't for that, but..." "Hold on, what exactly is bothering you now? For the first time, you look happy, and it's not your man who's making you happy. Do you really enjoy coming home and seeing his unhappy face? You've started living for yourself, so why are you creating obstacles around yourself? You could have set off on your own by now. There are so many new horizons out there." God, why are you bothering me? Carmen, this is my life. I'm living it the way I want. Yes, things are better now than they were, but I'm not ready to just leave my husband. Why not? You've become complete strangers. Sophia, think about it before it's too late. I'm not insisting, I just want things to get better for you. You know, that client of yours was right. You deserve better. What's the point in living under the same roof with a stranger who might even be cheating on you? Carmen, where do you think I'll go? Did you forget, Manuel and I have a mortgage on the apartment? I sold my old place to make the down payment. Why aren't you considering that? And now, if I file for a divorce, this apartment, which is, by the way, joint property, will just be split in half. And what about the rest of the debt? So what? Do you think it's better to live with this idiot for the rest of my life just to hold on to the apartment? Sell it, and that's it. At least nothing will hold you back or tie you to the past. Oh my God, everything seems so simple and smooth to you. Maybe I don't want to sell anything? I've invested so much time, energy, and money into this house. I don't want to leave here. And Manuel probably wouldn't like that either. Listen, I have a notary friend. Get in touch with him, find out everything about the situation. He'll advise you. There are a ton of cases like this, and then you can decide what to do. But the way you're living now is not right. Don't meddle in my life, Sophia snapped and hung up the phone. The conversation with Carmen ruined her mood. Sophia sat silently on the edge of the bed, not even trying to get up or lie back down. Her sleep was already disturbed, and she had no plans for the near future. The phone rang again. Sophia absent-mindedly picked it up. What now? She answered gruffly. I already told you, don't interfere with my life, I'll handle it myself. Sorry, Sophia, a velvet baritone purred. I must be calling at the wrong time. Oh, she stopped mid-sentence, I thought it was. You probably don't remember me, the man continued. Raul here. Oh my God, Sophia froze. Hello. Sophia, my studio manager gave me your number. I feel it's my duty to personally let you know. Is it a good time to talk? If not, I can call you back later. No, everything's fine, Sophia shook her head. I just had a little argument with a friend, how can I help? I'm calling to inform you that you won the competition we held a couple of weeks ago. It was almost unanimous that your painting was the best. That can't be, Sophia nervously laughed. This must be a mistake. I didn't even try that hard. Nevertheless, your peers, the instructor, and I decided that your painting was outstanding. It has all the expression and drama that is present in Puccini's music. Believe me, this composer is significant to me. I know what I'm talking about. When I saw your work, it felt like I was immersed in a whirlpool of sound. What are you saying, Raul? Sorry, I don't know your patronymic. I just moved the brush around the canvas. I saw the works, and I can definitely say that there are much more worthy variations. Sophia, as you may remember, the winner was chosen through anonymous voting. And the works weren't signed in any way. No one could have intentionally selected someone. I'm simply telling you the fact, you won. And I'd like to remind you that the winning piece will be showcased in my gallery. The exhibition will take place in 3 days. I would like to personally hand you the invitation and celebrate the event a little. Could we meet today? Will you find some time? Oh my God, this is so unexpected, Sophia blushed. Okay, even though I still can't believe it, would 2 p.m. work for you? I have the day off today, so I can come by wherever you say. Let's meet at the gallery then, Raul suggested. I'll have the painting brought over today. We can choose the spot for its display together. We can also go grab a bite, there's a great place nearby. It feels a little awkward, though. Immediately, the image of Manuel popped into Sophia's head, having fun on Phuket with some girl. All right, let's meet at 2 then. Yes, the Vega Gallery, write down the address. At exactly 2 p.m., Sophia stood at the entrance of the massive glass door, hesitating to pull the handle. Vega, contemporary art. Read the sign on the concrete wall. Oh my God, this doesn't feel like it's happening to me. Sophia sighed and stepped inside. Why did I even agree to this? What if it's just a prank? I should just turn around, though I'm not doing anything shameful. It's just that I look so naive, but at least now I can see the exhibition for free before it opens. I've seen the prices at this Vega. It's a bit much for a regular person to pay for admission. I've heard that only those who are ready to buy some peace actually come here. It will even be funny if some wealthy person who knows nothing about art buys my painting. Do people like that even exist? Sophia. Raoul's voice echoed through the gallery. Sorry to keep you waiting. God, the girls at the front desk are on their lunch break. No one even greeted you. What a mess. We haven't opened the exhibition yet. They're just taking liberties. Usually, everything is in order here. It's all right, Sophia smiled. I just came in. I was wondering, who buys paintings here? Oh, actually, the clientele is quite diverse. We have foreign billionaires and millionaires. And there's plenty of locals too. I wouldn't say that every piece costs an astronomical amount. Yes, but your entrance fee is quite high. I once wanted to visit an exhibition, but honestly, I regretted spending the money. Can't argue with that, Raoul sighed sadly. So far, I can't influence the situation. The marketers forbid me from lowering prices. They say it will attract the wrong kind of crowd. I still insisted on having free entry once a month for socially vulnerable groups, he added. Student artists can come in for free too, he added. Unfortunately, I don't fit into any of those categories, Sophia smiled sheepishly. But at least now I can be one of the first to see everything. I've never been behind the scenes of the art world before. Oh, I'll happily show you that now. We'll also check out the 2 spots I picked for your work. I didn't dare make a final decision by myself. In fact, I always consult with the artists. The tour of the gallery took about an hour. Sophia lingered longer at some paintings and installations than others, carefully reading the descriptions and labels, asking Raoul a ton of questions. You're so curious. Raoul chuckled. Usually, people just stand silently for a minute in front of each canvas, then silently walk away and change their point of view. Some people even only evaluate the commercial value of the work, without diving into the artist's intent. I always get so upset. I put my soul into this. Why did you get into this field in the first place? Sophia suddenly asked. Why did you leave opera? Personal reasons, Raoul sighed. My ex-wife is also an opera singer. I won't name her now, but I'll just say that she is very successful and in demand. Unfortunately, this success came at the cost of our family happiness. I simply stepped aside so that I wouldn't stand in her way as she reached for the stars. I've never done anything but art. I'm an expert in this field. From childhood, I was raised to love beauty. At the conservatory, I was one of the best in art history, world culture, and similar subjects. In fact, I found those subjects easier than my main specialty. So, when I left opera, I realized that I shouldn't completely leave the field. Thanks to connections and some saved up money, I'll thank my ex-wife for not taking everything from me. I opened a small exhibition hall at first and began focusing only on young, unknown artists. For 5 years, it was unstable, and then suddenly I started getting proposals from Asia. They really love our contemporary art there. And that's how it all started. I opened Vega 3 years ago. Of course, now the gallery is successful and brings in good money, but sometimes I miss my small hall, sitting with the artists after each exhibition day, having a few drinks while debating and discussing. I miss this so much, and when my friend suggested I come to your studio to sing, I was absolutely thrilled. And then the competition came up, which was a great idea. After all, sometimes true masters may not even realize that they are such. You're calling me that now? Sophia blushed. What? Every artist is skeptical of themselves, that's normal. And it would be a big mistake to argue with those who see more than they do themselves. I truly believe you have talent. Talent isn't about having a technique that's perfected to perfection. The ability to see with your soul is the greatest gift. It's the ability to transfer a part of your inner world onto an external medium. You did that perfectly. And the best proof of what I'm saying will be the sale of your painting. We'll be opening soon, so you won't have to wait long. I can hardly believe that my brushstrokes will interest anyone, Sophia sighed. There are such amazing works here, no one will even notice mine. Every artist says that, Raul laughed. All right, we've been walking around for a while, let's grab a bite, and then we'll come back and decide on the spot. After lunch at a lovely Italian restaurant, the newly minted artist and the gallery owner returned. For a whole hour, Raul entertained Sophia with stories from his past. He shared his impressions from meeting famous opera divas, and when the spot for the painting was finally chosen, he unexpectedly asked, "Sophia, what do you do in everyday life? I've been talking about myself so much, it's embarrassing. I'm tired of myself. I'm such a chatterbox. Don't think badly of me, I don't usually open up like this to anyone. It usually takes time for people to get me talking, but with you, it's so easy right away. It's amazing. Are you, by any chance, a psychologist? And you, too?" Sophia laughed. "People often tell me I chose the wrong profession. No, I'm a cosmetologist, although these days my work is more about aesthetics than medicine. Everyone wants a beautiful face, smooth skin, a toned profile and torso. So I deal with fixing what people have systematically destroyed over the years." "Ah, so you're a kind of restoration artist," Raul exclaimed. "And you say you're far from art. I knew you were being modest." "Oh, stop it," Sophia waved it off, laughing. No, I'm serious. Just think about it, a person is the greatest work of art. Our Creator really gave it his all, but he didn't account for the fact that time renders all ideas and materials powerless. The human body wears down, loses its original beauty. And what a miracle it is that there's a chance to prolong or restore youth. You're doing a noble thing, Sophia. Is that not true art, piecing things together? Like an ancient mosaic, bringing images of the past together to shape the future. It's more the achievement of science. Thanks to scientists, we now have advanced devices and cosmetics. That's true, but just like brushes and paints, they become your tools. Sophia, don't argue. Why didn't you tell me this before? What difference would it have made? It's nothing, I just respect you even more now. For some reason, I thought you were just another lazy woman, living for her own pleasure, painting pictures, but it turns out you're not like that at all. I've never run away from hard work, Sophia exhaled. And I never thought I came across as lazy. You just look so good. Usually, women who take care of themselves are socialites. For example, my friend Adriana, maybe you know her? Does she still have a husband? I know her, Sophia laughed. Adriana is one of my clients. I'd even call her a friend. And you, Raul, I'm just realizing now that you're the same man Adriana was talking about. Oh no, please don't tell me she told you everything, Raul blushed. And don't tell me she got what she wanted, Sophia laughed brightly. Raul, she practically tried to set us up. She kept telling me to leave my husband and find someone like you. No way? Raul seemed surprised. Well, Adriana, the eternal matchmaker. As soon as she figured out there was no chance for us, she immediately started trying to find me someone. I've been a bachelor for so many years since I got divorced. And Adriana put in a lot of effort to help me find my happiness. And it turns out you never found it? Well, not exactly. In Adriana's world, happiness is all about closeness and money. I have both, actually. Yes, I'm not married, but that doesn't stop me from occasionally having passionate romances. As for money, I regret one thing, I'll admit, Sophia. I have money, but I don't have anywhere to spend it. It's enough for my basic needs, but I never get around to spending more. And there's no one to pass it all on to. So, most likely, when I'm breathing my last, my money will just go to a charity fund. It's fine, I'm not sad about it, but it would be much nicer to be able to take care of my own children. So you don't have any children, I take it? My ex-wife was very firm about that. For her, career always came first. At first, it didn't matter to me, but now, when I'm alone and my bank balance is growing, I realize that I've been living in vain in many ways. I have no one to pass on my experience, my worldview, my thoughts. Of course, I could adopt or turn to surrogacy, but it's just not the same. I want to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm a maximalist. I truly believe that a child should have a loving, understanding mother and father. Without that, do you have children? Oh, Sophia darkened, it's complicated. I'm thinking of divorcing my husband. We've been living like strangers for almost a year now. He doesn't want children, and I dream of having a baby. And the reasons, strangely enough, are the same as yours, to share yourself. I don't want to die forgotten when I could give so much to a little human. Make them big, maybe even great. Unfortunately, that's sad, Raul looked away. It's okay, maybe, if the stars align, one day we'll have a celebration in our own streets. Manuel, with a grim face, was unpacking the bags. He didn't say a word to Sophia. Smiling to herself, the woman walked into the kitchen. She decided that if her husband returned and spoke to her, she would give their marriage a chance, but if not, she would file for divorce. Moreover, her thoughts were now entirely occupied by Raul. Without realizing it, Sophia understood that she had fallen for the charming and interesting man. A few joint lunches were enough for her to figure this out. But she wasn't in a hurry to confess her feelings, knowing how absurd their romance was. Sophia was holding the phone in her hands, the number of the notary Carmen had given her flashing on the screen. She kept hesitating to call him. But when she met Manuel at the doorstep of their apartment, she realized there was no reason to wait any longer. But before filing the documents, it was important for her to sort out the issue with the apartment. "Hello," she said firmly into the phone when someone answered. "I would like to consult with you regarding the division of marital property. Carmen gave me your number." Yes, briefly, I am going to file for divorce, but we have a shared apartment. Yes, it's mortgaged. No, I don't want to lose it. Yes, all right, I will come by. Sophia hung up and silently stared out the window. "Who were you talking to?" Manuel's voice came from behind her. "The notary," Sophia replied indifferently, not even turning around. "Manuel, I'm filing for divorce. We can't live like this anymore. Are you out of your mind?" "Sophia, I won't give it to you." "Who's asking you?" Sophia smirked. "And if you resist too much, I'll show the court photos of you with some girl from your trip to Phuket, and I'll bring witnesses." "Manuel, this is just ridiculous. I haven't been happy with you, even though I never admitted it to myself. And as soon as I started living independently, I immediately realized how many opportunities I'd missed just because I didn't want to upset you. I even saved on myself, just so you'd be warm and well-fed. You were right when you suggested a separate budget. At first, I disagreed, but I quickly realized that not only am I getting nothing from this marriage, but I'm also giving everything. No, darling, this can't go on. And now I'm going to the notary so he can explain to me how I can make sure the apartment stays with me." "Why do you think I'll give you the apartment?" Manuel was stunned. "We'll split it in half. After the divorce, we'll sell it, pay off the mortgage, and split the rest." "No," Sophia smirked. "You forgot something. We'll only split in half the part that's not covered by the down payment. I paid that myself, with inheritance money, so don't even think about it. And I've made more payments than you, so we'll do this fairly. If you want to gain anything from this, don't get in my way. And where do you think you'll get the money to pay off the rest of your share?" "Oh, don't worry about that," Sophia laughed. "I've got money." "Where from? I won't believe for a second that you saved up that much in 10 months. A normal man would be interested in what's going on in his wife's life. Sophia sighed as she left the room. I'll see you at our place at 1900 hours. Sorry, I can't stop by. Just saw off the Japanese. Raul. Sophia's eyes lingered on the SMS from Raul. Her heart beat faster. The departure of the Japanese meant that the deal for her painting was complete, and soon a significant sum would be deposited into her account. But that wasn't what made her so happy. Our place, she smiled to herself. Raul already considers that Italian restaurant ours. Well, here goes nothing. I'll tell him tonight that I'm very fond of him, and maybe, just maybe, our shared dream will become a reality. Sophia slipped her feet into sandals and flew out of the apartment. The June sun warmed her skin pleasantly. Now, all that was left was to settle things with the notary, and then she could boldly build the walls of her new future. After all, its foundation had already been laid in the present.
If you're enjoying it as well, leave a like and subscribe to the channel.